Lansing Correctional Facility. That's in crisis mode right now. They're locked down 23 hours a day. We've had 2 correction officers almost beaten to death recently. What are you working on to address the issue there?
You know, I've had a chance to talk to a lot of corrections officers because Lansing Correctional Facility isn't in my district, but a lot of those folks live here in Leavenworth. And so I've had a chance to talk to a lot of them. I've been down there for the candlelight vigil and a couple other things talking to them. And they need help. They need people. The bottom line at Lansing Correctional Facility is there are not enough correction officers for the population of inmates that they have to protect. And, you know, they're protecting those inmates from each other. They're protecting us from the inmates, but they're also protecting those inmates from each other. And we as a state have a responsibility to the corrections officers that we charge to protect us, but we also have a responsibility to those inmates. I've heard from a lot of family members of inmates who are very concerned. Their lives are at risk because there's not enough supervision of the inmate population there. And so one thing that I tried to get passed last year, I was not able to get it out of committee in time, and I'm going to refile it this year. I've already got a bunch of co-sponsors that have signed on, is improving the retirement benefits. The number one issue that I heard from corrections officers over the 2 years before I took office, or year and a half before I took office, was the retirement. Right now they're on the same retirement as teachers and you know, office workers at the Capitol. And not to say that those folks don't deserve a retirement, but there are few jobs, you know, law enforcement, fire department, and those corrections officers are about the toughest, you know, jobs that that a person could be asked to do to serve their state. And so we owe them a retirement system that is commensurate with that sacrifice. And so I'd like, what I'm trying to do, the bill that I filed last year, and I've made some updates to it, I'm going to file it as a new bill this year, is a bill that moves them to KPERS for police and fire. Because right now they have to wait till 60 to retire. This will allow them to retire 5 years earlier. I mean, that job is hard on their bodies and it's hard on their souls. And I couldn't imagine being a 60-year-old, you know, walking those concrete floors and up and down those stairs every day. I mean, we owe them a good retirement at a reasonable age, and so that's what I'm committed to doing. But we also need to raise the pay so that we can get more folks on the job, not just retain the ones that we have, which is what the retirement system will do. You know, the governor, she used coronavirus aid money to temporarily raise their pay. First of all, we need to make sure that everybody's getting that raise, because I'm hearing from a lot of folks that they haven't seen a raise yet. So first we need to make sure they see that temporary raise, but second, we need to make those raises permanent and maybe make them a little bit bigger, because we need to get them enough people to do the job that we've charged them with doing.
What's creating the shortage? Is it the pay raise, or?
You know, I mean, first of all, it is a tough, thankless job. I have heard a lot of concerning things about the environment in our prison, the leadership environment in our prison, from the administration and from the Department of Corrections senior, you know, suits. And I'm going to be addressing that with the Secretary of Corrections. But it is also competing to keep labor. You know, we have the federal penitentiary right here that is also hurting for people, and they're hiring. And the number of people that have moved from Lansing Correctional Facility to the federal penitentiary here just down the road is part of the problem. But the bigger part of the problem is we're competing with the broader economy. And if you can sit behind a desk behind a computer and make significantly more than you're making risking your life every day walking through those doors into that corrections facility, that, you know, that's a difficult thing to explain to your family why you're continuing to risk your life instead of going and doing that other job. So I think that corrections officers should be much better paid, commensurate, like I said, with the sacrifice that we ask them to make every day, because we have to compete with the rising wages that are, you know, hitting the whole economy because of this disastrous Biden economy and this huge inflation that's hit our country.
It's kind of hard to work from home being a prison guard.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a great point. You know, I really thought it was going to be a slam dunk last year with the KPNF getting them onto KPERS for police and fire, because I mean, those guys were walking into the hottest hot spot in the state of Kansas every day willingly. I mean, people going in knowing they had COVID, being told you've got to go in, we'll put you in the COVID ward, working sick, protecting inmates and protecting us from the inmates. And so I thought, I can't believe that we don't already have this done. It's but my biggest disappointment in the last session, and I'm going to continue to fight until I get this done for our corrections officers.
I know a lot of the law enforcement retirees and the KPERS people. That's one of the issues they have had with the retirement system is, I believe it's been 20 years since they've got a raise, a cost of living raise or anything, and so your pension shrinks as inflation goes up.
Yeah.
Is there any?
Yeah, I'm probably in the minority in my caucus. I don't know. I haven't polled other Republicans, but I'm in favor of a COLA adjustment for KPERS. I don't know if we've got the money to do a permanent COLA adjustment, like a permanent COLA system, but people, I think it's been like 1995 since they got a COLA adjustment in KPERS, and so I'm committed to getting that done for the retirees in our district, but I don't know how much appetite there is for it this year, but I'm going to fight for it.
Good.